Caners, it's Caner Tip Tuesday, and today we are looking at the power of the cane and the empty hand. You know, Fall Cane Immersion 2022, September, right around the corner, and boy, there is just a growing interest in the empty hand translations of those cane applications. So this is a two-part series. Stick to the very end, because I'm going to show you how it all ties in and how you would actually go ahead and practice. And this is how we would do it decades ago at ACSD headquarters when this whole thing was put together. But you'll see it there without any explanation, without anything. I'll do a short series for you of just cane and empty hand so that you can see how it works out. Before we do any of that, a warm welcome to those of you who are here for the first time, as well as the faithful followers of the Cane Fist Way. Two things that you want to do straight off the bat. If you like the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so that you don't miss any future content. And do this now. Take the number down now. Avail yourself of the no-cost Cane Clarity Call, which is a call. Whether you're new to this or experienced, you've been doing this for a while and you're watching video, nothing gets done just from watching video. Okay? You got to make up your mind. Do you want to get cane trained or you want to be cane-tertained? We rather you get cane trained. The way to do that is to text CCC for Cane Clarity Call to 305-745-7839. In less than 24 hours, we will be on a phone call with you, learning how it is that we can serve you best, but giving you a blueprint, a plan that you can actually execute and answer all your questions, whether it is regarding canes or, more importantly, how to get cane trained so that you save time, funds, and frustration in trying to figure this out on your own and availing yourself, trying to purchase things that you don't necessarily need. So we are the shortcut via that call. The power of the cane and the empty hand. You know, from day one, ACSD has always been about, the concept is the cane teaches that empty hand. And one of the easy ways to take a look at that relationship is to go to the alphabet, the forms. Now, ACSD forms are not long traditional martial art forms to present in front of judges. There's nothing wrong with that. ACSD is just a tactical system, and the exercises, they're short, designed to teach that tactical application. It's a series of 6 forms that when you link them together, you put them together, you do them in one a smooth, continuous flow, it looks like one longer form. But I'm just going to go ahead and give you, by the way, this is a 2-part presentation. Next week I'll give you part 2. We're looking today at ACSD Form number 2, and it's okay if you're not familiar with ACSD exercises. I'll show you here. But ACSD practitioners are familiar with something that looks, well, not something, it does look like that. And we're going to break that down. That opening, just the opening movement, it's 2 different movements that are going there. The first one is where you have something that's coming towards your midline. It's a midline attack. In this case, it's an impact tool, right? But it can have a blade on it. And boy, you just weren't quick enough. And so we have what we refer to as a lift drop. The cane at this stage should have been here. You're human, you move that up, and immediately you come down. So you're deflecting and very economically coming down to crack. The second movement is against a secondary assailant. And it's not like what it looks like. When you first look at it, you say, well, he's coming in and you're deflecting and you're deflecting. No, I actually initiate the movement, but he's good. He's got reflexes. So he catches it here, and I come again, and he catches it there. And so now the movement is to step in, occupy your space, turn him around. And when you do that, notice that it leaves his side exposed and you're stabbing the ribs. The ribs are running this way now. And as you remove that and step in, ACSD, we're not big. You always hear me say we're not a hokey pokey system, meaning that we're not about poking to the midline of the body. We don't like that because it's right. He can see it coming. And so there's a time and a place for that. But you would do it when you have that opening bone to come back in. My elbows are up in case he's coming right back up. And that's your stabbing motion. When you do it, empty hand. And each one of those, by the way, you can just isolate. The translation for that in the exercise, it would look this way. And then you have this hammer fist that recoils and comes back. So what that represents, when he's throwing the strike here, that's your first application. So it's a strike that's coming right to your face, and you're deflecting and coming right back down. That's your lift drop. So that might be a hammer fist that's coming right to the bridge of the nose. Eyes get watery, bloody nose. And then that second attack, boy, he's pretty good. He comes in here, I make a move and he stops that move. His reflex is good, I come right back, there he is. And now this whole area is exposed. And you might say, well, I can do that. Yep, I can also pull a secondary tool and go ahead. Yeah, you could do that. But what it teaches you to do is to occupy your space. And if we tilt the camera down just a tad, ACSD practitioners will be familiar with the abducting of the foot coming there. And that's, you see it there. Here it is, and look at it in the application. So now when you step in, what you're doing is you're attacking closer up the limb, you're locked at the wrist, and he's tapping there at the leg, and here's your hammer fist strike. His head below the waist because it throws off his biomechanics, and you're moving in right here. So when you look at that, you say, well, nobody fights like that. And nobody, well, can they block your strike? Yeah, he might be good at doing that. Could he just be throwing, some kind of a strike here or some lunge? Yep, it shows you how to do that, whether you're entering or you're blending. So the point is that whether it's just this, or I threw a strike here, and he caught that, or he's just throwing a straight strike at me, and well, there it is. There's that application again. So you can take from those exercises, those short forms, and just work on each one of those components and the variability of it. Now, as I promised, if you stick with me to the end, I'm going to show you how that works, how we used to do it decades ago when we put this whole thing together without talking and just running a couple of applications, both cane and empty hand. Before we do that, those of you that want an opportunity to practice that, if you like that concept, which is growing in popularity, you're just discovering for the first time something that was this way with ACSD from the onset. What you want to do is you want to give yourself the best opportunity by attending live. And we do that 2 times a year. And the next one is happening now September 20th through the 23rd, now in 2022. And that's the Fall Cane Immersion in a small, intimate group of caners that they come from all over the world. And that's going to be the emphasis this year. That's going to be the cane and the empty hand. I'll focus on the empty hand translations to see if that would be a good fit for you. Go ahead and text FALL, F-A-L-L, FALL 2022 to 305-745-7839. Let's have a conversation before you enroll in anything. Got it? I'm going to have a drone because Kiko is my friend. And then just a couple of applications on what this would look like when you're doing it in training. You're training with a training partner. We're doing that with the empty hand. Right? But it gives you an idea, right? And even though I do recommend working it with a drone so your partner comes back and play. I'm Joe Robaina from American Cane Self-Defense. Tune in next week for part 2. Keep caning.